Tainted gasoline. It can create big problems for your car and lead to expensive repairs. A Channel 9 investigation exposed businesses where the tainted gas was being sold. Well, since that report a few months ago, complaints to the state are up. Drivers clearly concerned about the gas that they're putting in their vehicles.
So anchor John Paul kept digging, and he learned some gas stations have a history of problems dating back years.
Just days after our February report about gas stations accused of having tainted gasoline in their pumps, Ken Riley and Jerry Pettit thought they were the next victims.
Put gas in it, pulled away from the tank, and the car died.
Just shut off.
Shut off.
Thank you.
Their T-Bird only has 60,000 miles, and they've never had issues. Our report was in the back of their mind, so they contacted the state. And they weren't alone. In the month after our report aired, the state got 16 complaints from Mecklenburg County alone. During the same period last year, they got 16 for the entire state. Our original investigation uncovered that 53 gasoline samples taken from stations in Mecklenburg County last year were condemned, meaning they had water, sediment, or other problems. 40% were at Circle K's.
But we dug deeper and went through years of state records. Here's what we found. At least 7 gas stations in Mecklenburg County dinged for condemned gasoline multiple times.
The Circle K over on North Graham had samples condemned in 2017 for octane issues and 2016 for water. At this Quick Trip on Eastway, water was discovered in the diesel in 2017 and twice in 2016. We took our findings to state officials.
Is the state doing enough to prevent issues?
I would say that we definitely are.
Why are they having repeat problems?
It depends on certain situations.
Things like how old the gas is in the tank and how busy the station is.
For complaints, we actually
when the state gets a complaint, it sends out this mobile unit to conduct an initial test and take samples. This is where the samples end up. We were granted access to the state lab in Raleigh.
You can see he's found sediment in one of the cans already.
They run the samples through a battery of tests,
making sure quality standards are being met, and the gas companies are doing the same.
Which is true. Look at what we found at this Circle K on Harris Station. It had repeat problems. This private company inspecting their tanks. The company told me they do a lot of work for gas stations to ensure their products aren't contaminated. But obviously problems happen. So there are 2 things you could do to protect yourself. Never fill up if a fuel truck is filling the tanks. That stirs up sediment in those tanks, which can end up in your car. And if the flow is especially slow at the pump, stop filling up immediately. That's another possible sign of contaminated gas.
That is what we will do. As
for Jerry and Ken, the state didn't find anything wrong at the station they went to. Their mechanic thinks it was the gas, but they can't prove it. So they're out $350 for repairs. Still, inspectors say they did the right thing. If you think there's a problem, call, because you just might be right.
Is that in the back of your mind whenever you go fill
Yes.
up? Yeah.
It is every time.
Every time.
John Paul, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, we made it easy for you to find out if you live near one of the gas stations that the state found contaminated samples. In the last 2 minutes, we sent out a link to John's report on our Facebook and Twitter pages. You can share that with all your friends, too.